Fire which gutted around 6 classrooms. More than 60 firemen were involved in tackling the blaze, which investigators believe was started
deliberately. The fire raisers first turned on gas taps in a laboratory before starting the blaze. Firemen risked their lives to battle their way through the flames to turn off the gas and prevent a major explosion.
6 fire crews from Cornwall and 2 from Devon were called in to fight the blaze at the college, which was started about 6 o'clock this morning. The block, which was completely gutted, housed geography, domestic science, needlework and history rooms. There was also smoke damage to the 6th form common room and water damage to the special needs classroom. It took 60 firemen over 2 hours to bring the blaze under control.
Well, it's quite severe to this block. The type of school is designed in blocks which have got glass-linked walkways between them. Luckily, this is an advantage to us because we can contain it within the block. But you see the 2-storey block behind me is very severely damaged by fire.
Forensic experts have been on the scene gathering evidence, and the county architect has been assessing the cost of the damage, which could total up to £500,000. Police have now no doubt as to what they're dealing with.
Well, we are certainly treating this fire as a deliberate arson. There's evidence that several classrooms were ransacked prior to the fire actually starting. We've got a main seat of fire in the domestic block, which is, as you know, has completely devastated that part of the building. There are other seats of fire in different parts of the building, indicating that someone has deliberately set about to destroy this building.
The 1,000 pupils at the school only broke up last Friday. Teachers who arrived on the scene today to survey the damage have been very upset.
Well, yes, I mean, I'm a historian as well as a housemaster, and it's very sad to think that we've lost our stock of books and we're going to have to start restocking as soon as we get back in September, because that means there's going to be a delay, and it is distressing to go in and have a look at the damage that's been caused there.
It'll be at least a couple of weeks before forensic experts can give a full report on the fire. Meanwhile, pupils and staff at the college are hoping that temporary classrooms can be erected so that GCSE work can continue as normal.
And a fire at a waste paper depot in Bridgewater in Somerset is also being treated as suspicious.
But firemen managed to avert a disaster, controlling the blaze before it reached a room where gas had been left on.
At its height, more than 50 firemen fought the blaze. The heat was so intense it buckled steel girders and cracked nearby windows. One fireman's recovering in hospital after a charred floor gave way and he fell into the room below. Gas burners in a nearby block were found to have been left on, pointing to a deliberate act of arson.
Well, the indications are that it was a deliberate attempt to destroy the whole complex. Looking at the evidence, looking at the number of rooms that have been entered, the differing seats of fire, the gas, certainly my opinion is that it's a deliberate attempt to burn the whole school down.
And gas taps were left on elsewhere as well. What would have happened if the fire had caught up with them?
Well, certainly in the science block, the gas taps have been left on. Had that gas ignited, we would have been dealing with a very large explosion, no doubt about that.
Well, I think it's very tragic. This is a very happy school. It's very much part of the community, and I think everyone in Launceston will feel as devastated as I do. I'm bound to say I'd like to thank the fire brigade and the police for the work they've done to make what is very bad as little as possible. But nonetheless, I really am extraordinarily upset.
Police believe those responsible lived locally. They may even have had a grudge against the college.
That is a possibility. The school broke up on Friday. That would certainly be something we'd be looking into, perhaps with the staff, to see if there's been any evidence of pupils, former pupils, showing any sort of indication of this kind of behaviour.
4 years ago, the maths block, which stands behind me, was destroyed in another arson attack. That was replaced in a matter of a few weeks. But there's little chance of today's damage being put right before the start of the new term in a month's time.
We'll have to wait until the structural engineers have had an opportunity to look at it, because that's a matter for them. We couldn't obviously do anything that wasn't safe. That's the prime consideration.